more about Paulding County and hopefully some more about our exciting rail project going on here in Paulding County. My name is Tim Copsey. I'm the Economic Development Director for Paulding County. And the exciting thing for me is I know all of you, but not every one of you knows each other. So if you don't mind, I would like to go around the room real quick. Just tell us your name and who you're with so that we can make a network here of a better network here in the county, and we can learn each other and what's all going on. Since I began just 2 years ago, we've had a lot of change in CEOs and HR managers and all kind of things. So it's exciting to get all of us back together for a minute and hear about some projects. So Doug, if you'll start down here.
Doug Etzler, Blockman Tile Company. Scott Kibler, Blockman Tile. Adam David, Paulding Progress.
Brad Norton, Grover Hill Wind, Northwest Ohio Wind.
Kristen Schill, Paulding County Economic Development.
Jeff Mumala, York Exchange Bank.
John Covey, York Exchange Bank.
Jeff Hunyer, Systec Environmental.
Jason Cornell, Union Bank Company.
Greg Busselman, North American Stamping Group.
Bob Grassinger, North American Stamping Group.
Bud Cooley, Cooper Farm.
Jim Crawford, Pioneer Lines.
I'm Alex Heroes of Pioneer Lines and Paulding Lines.
Mark Soka, Van Exchange Bank. Mike J, Regional Growth Partnership.
George Carter, Paulding Bottom Electric.
Mike Kauser, Kauser Trucking.
Bryce Steiner, Westman Printing.
Luke Cook, Lieutenant Governor's Office.
Ross Stoller, Hamlin Drainage.
Roy Kloppenstein, Paulding County Commissioner.
Sean Mack, State Bank.
Jim States, State Bank.
Welcome, Todd.
Brian Davidson, Village of Atwood.
Todd Cook with H2O Water Stores.
Dave Kreitz with Safer Industries in Hicksville.
Jody Heath with Pioneer Lines.
Bryce Travis, Pioneer Lines.
Matt Service, Pioneer Lines.
Thank you all. Well, again, thank you all for coming. I want to thank Grant's Catering for doing a nice job for us today for our breakfast. Kristen Schilt for taking care of all the details for us and keeping me in line, and all of you for coming. I just wanted to give you a couple quick things about for business in Paulding County. We do have the Business Advisory Council that we meet quarterly. We'll be doing that again towards the end of this month. I do appreciate all of those businesses that are attending. If you're not attending and would like to learn more, please get in touch with Kristen or I. We'd be more than happy to share that information. We still run the Paulding County Business Weekly podcast, where we are highlighting businesses in a recording that goes on the radio station My 102.7 for a couple weeks, and then it goes into Spotify. So it was a way to get to our students who were not, when we weren't able to get into the schools during the COVID pandemic, they were able to listen. But now it seems that we've got businesses learning more about other businesses through that. So it's a very exciting way to promote your business. Please see me if your business has been not been highlighted on that yet. We have the Career Day event. April 19th, we'll be out at the fairgrounds. If you have not signed up for that yet, again, please see Kristen or I, and we'll get you set up for that. Your membership will cover your booth fee, and we'd be glad to get you in front of all of our students. We have the 3 high schools going through from the county, but we've also invited 6 schools around the outside of the county to hopefully participate. So we'll see where that all goes. And then lastly, we will do the this year we're bringing the business sector back to the Paulding County Fair. I'm working with Tim Schaefer, and you can for free set up a booth in one of the buildings there. You can display for a week. You don't have to be there to man the booth, or you're welcome to man or woman the booth at your leisure throughout the week. I'll be getting more details out about that as well. So we have a lot of exciting things going on in the county. Please make sure you keep in touch with us. We have a weekly email that goes out. If you're not receiving that today, again, get with Kristen and I, and we'll be glad to get you hooked up. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our guests here today, the Pioneer Lines group, and let them have at it.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate it. As you know, we have been trying to get in front of a lot of you to discuss this project, and about a month or so ago, I visited with Tim about maybe hosting a town hall of this nature so that we could just get everybody in one room. So what we want to do today is just kind of tell you a little bit about who we are, and then we're going to talk about what we want to do here and how that would benefit all of you. So with that. All right, so Pioneer was founded in 1986 and is a leader in the short line industry. We're actually the 4th largest short line company in the railroad industry. We were purchased in 2019. Some of you might remember us as Pioneer Rail Corp, but BRX Transportation Holdings bought us in July of 2019 and we became Pioneer Lines. Pioneer right now operates 15 roads over 600 miles in 12 different states. I manage 5 lines in 4 states, including the NDW here in Ohio. And the company across the board has just a broad spectrum of different commodities and customers that we serve, from ag to plastics, chemicals, lumber, pretty much anything that goes in a truck, we want to put it in a rail car, so we can handle that. Pioneer's roads provide direct service to different regions, and these are some of our top customers here, and you've seen in Tim's office the top 18 that are right here in Paulding and Defiance County. So. All right, this is where we are spread out across the nation. Like I said, I have the 5 roads in the north, the Michigan Southern, Kennedale Terminal, Elkhart and Western, of course the NDW, and the Gettysburg. This is our central region, and this is our southern region, and we are headquartered in Denver, Colorado. All right, this is some of the services that Pioneer Lines can offer to you as customers, some of which we're going to talk about today. But of course, the rail freight piece, we can do the transload, which is what we're going to talk about here today. We also help with site selections, and folks like Tim and the EDCs around our regions help us do some of those things. We can do switching. If you've got an operation where you need an operator to come in and handle switching for you, that's also something that we do. Car storage and car repair, and we've also set up customers where they needed like a car clean out type of operation. We do those sorts of operations as well. All right, so this is the NDW. We have 58, just a little over 58 miles of track that goes from Woodward to Liberty Center. We are interchanged by 2 Class 1 railroads, the Norfolk Southern and the CSX. We have approximately 50 miles east of Fort Wayne and 185 miles northeast of Indianapolis, which makes us in a prime location for customers that want to utilize truck to rail, and they've got access to those major highways to get to where they need to go. Since 2021, we've spent just a little under $12 million to invest in this road. Many of you have probably seen some of those investments. I know I've talked to some of the customers, and what this road looked like even 6 months ago is dramatically different now, and we're still working on that. Some of the commodities, like I already mentioned before, aggregates, chemicals, fuel, food plastics, lumber, pulpboard, and particle board. Interchange service is Monday through Friday. We do have weekend service if you need it. It's another thing that we offer to our customers if you need it. I also mentioned before that we're dual served by the CSX and the NS, and we are at 286, which is Class 1 standards. And again, the miles that we operate is 58.2. All right, so I'm going to introduce Matt Service, who's going to talk about our new project, Transload.
Thank you, Jody. So everybody's probably saying, okay, what are we here to talk about today? And it is this Transload project that we're looking at. It's a new development. We love this railroad, and the reasons why we love this railroad is it's a dual serve railroad, and what that means is you have 2 Class 1 carriers that can interchange your cars. That brings a lot of value to customers like yourself when you look at pricing. So when you look at shipping off a CSX through us or going to the Norfolk Southern, you're not captive to one carrier. So it brings a lot of value. So when we look at that, we see a need to have a new development here for the transload facility that can capture more customers that are not directly rail served. So if you're originating traffic or your destination does not have rail service, you utilize a transload facility to be able to ship by rail. So that's why we're researching this. That's why you're here today. We want to hear your feedback around the need and to find out this is a viable project for this area. But like I said, transloading, you can pretty much handle any commodity. When you look at your dry bulks, such as plastics, your minerals, your ags, all that can be handled at a transload facility. Your liquid bulk, your chemicals, fertilizers, you name it, fuels, all that can be transloaded. Dimensional loads, such as your lumber, your wind blades, any of that can take place. We want to have a transload facility that can handle any kind of warehousing products too. So there's a lot of things, that you can run through a transload facility if you do it right. We want this development to not be just a road going up next to a track. we want something that's going to be state of the art when you look at fencing and have all the characteristics that you need to handle your product safely. The benefits, like I said, you know, the rail transportation is cheap, a lot cheaper compared to trucking. I think we all know the environment that we're in right now with your driver shortages, you know, diesel fuel's going up. That means your rates are going to go up on trucking, all that stuff. So this will allow someone that does not have rail service today to ship by rail. It can be very expensive to build rail to your facility at times. You know, the price of steel is expensive, you name it. So you don't have to have that capital investment to get rail to your facility when you have a facility like this. We have the scalability for large projects. So I know we have someone here today that ships wind blades. Those are short-term, quick projects. You know, pipe, you name it, stuff like that. They're not going to be long-term. But if we have the right facility, you know, you don't have to worry about it. We can handle those big surges of traffic and handle those special projects. So we can scale really quickly. When you look at the reliability and improved efficiency, you know, you're getting rail service, but you're also having that first and last mile trucking service. So you have more, you know, reliability when you look at your scheduling, the loads coming in by truck. The market reach, you can reach any market by rail pretty much. So, you know, having this, and we can connect you to another transload facility, you name it, we can help organize that whole supply chain as you move your goods. And then of course we have the storage capabilities. So on site, we want to have a facility that has lay down space. We can store your products in rail cars. We can set up storage agreements. You name it, that can all take place with a transload facility. So we talk about the physical plant. You know, we want to make sure we have a facility that gives good road access that goes along the tracks, that you can actually drive through. You don't have, you know, we don't want to have a truck that's having to back up or anything like that. We want to be able to pull up right next to the rail cars, take the load, keep moving. So we want to design this from ground up, so green space, and get exactly what we want that's going to be very, very efficient to handle your products. We got to have enough space in between the tracks to have equipment. You know, your conveyors, your forklifts, you name it, they need working space to get the product out. So we have to make sure we have enough space to do this. We want spill containment. We want a secure site with the office. You know, we need to have a truck scale that's going to be there to weigh out the products. We want lighting. We want good security. We want good highway access coming in and out. You know, all these things, you know, to handle fuels, we got to have grounded tracks. You know, got to make sure the tracks are bonded. We got to have the right equipment. So that's why you're here today, is to tell us a little bit about what you're looking at doing with the facility, so we make sure we design this facility the right way. You know, if you're telling me, hey, I've got a ton of lumber that we can move through this facility, well, we need to have some lay down space for that lumber to be stored. You know, it needs to be covered storage. We can build out covered storage where you can handle those products and make sure they're, you know, they stay dry. So I think anything is on the table, and I think this is kind of a unique opportunity for you guys to tell us what you're looking for, so we can make sure we deliver. So this is kind of a little bit of a rendering. Obviously, we wanted to kind of give you it's not a track design or anything like this. It could be a little different, but to show you what a transload facility looks like. As you can see here, we have a gate on both ends. You know, we could have have an automatic gate. You know, if you have a local trucking partner here that we say, hey, let's give you some key fobs. You pull up, you swipe the key fob, the gate opens, truck pulls in, he goes right to his designated track. You know, we're talking to the office here. They go to the designated track, has a transload employees out there, he's ready to go, he hooks up the pumps, the load is transferred to the truck, they pull through here, go across the crossing, come out of the truck scale, they get the weight, get their ticket, and out the other gate they go. So this is set up where it's very efficient if you do this correctly. When we look at the laydown space, we want to make sure we have, you know, if you need silos to store grains, if you need silos to store plastic, you name it, you know, we're willing to work with you to make those investments on site to store products. So with that said, any questions about this design? Okay, all right, we'll keep going. So, you know, the critical items to move this project forward, when we look at any kind of development like this, we got to have rail access. Well, we got that. You know, we're making tons of investments in our railroad today. You know, Jody talked a little bit about the NDW and how much money we've spent, you know, putting into the hardening the infrastructure of that track. So we have the rail access. We have land. You know, Tim's been great to work with. We got Paulding County here. We're looking for land. We got a lot of different sites picked out that this will work at. So that's not going to be a problem. You know, there's many railroads across the country that you can't find land to have developments like this, but that's not a problem, this railroad. Road and highway access. We got a great highway that runs along the railroad. No problems there. Excellent. You know, got a local trucking partner. There's a lot of options there to help move the products for that first and last mile to your facility. And then, of course, the community involvement. Pretty big turnout today, so that's a check there also. We appreciate it. And then the last thing that we need is that anchor customer, that anchor tenant. You know, to get this project moving forward, we need a little bit of a commitment that, hey, we need this facility. We expect this much volume that we can run through it. That allows us to make an investment as we pencil everything out. So that's why you're here. We wanted to feed you, wanted to tell you about this project, get you excited about this. We have a questionnaire on your table here. You know, we'd like to, you know, we'll keep those confidential, but if you wouldn't mind filling that out for us, get that done. We'll collect those. We'll probably reach out to you directly to ask more detailed questions about what you're trying to do. And then, of course, we're here also after this meeting to talk individually. So we've got a couple other meetings lined up today with potential customers, but we're going to be here. We'll be around if you want to say, hey, what about this, Matt? What about that? Jody, you name it. We'll talk. So I guess we'll start with the questions first in the room, general questions, then we'll go to the questionnaire. Yes, sir.
So with your relationships with the Class 1 carriers, you pretty much have access to the whole country.
Correct. We can go anywhere. And like I said, the dual access is a big win for this railroad.
In Canada.
Yeah, and Canada. Even Mexico.
In Mexico. No longer Russia.
No longer Russia. That's correct. Both Class 1s have about 20,000 miles of track that they access, but because of their short line partners like Pioneer Lines, they can access an additional 20,000 miles. And so like we mentioned before, you know, just our little 58 right here, but we connect to both Class 1s. I mean, that gives our customers, all of you in this room, a lot of options.
Yeah, even as I understand, NS has partnerships with CSX to get to the West Coast because NS doesn't go out there. So there are a lot of moving parts that you can become part of to get your project from here to where.
Right. Class 1s do that all the time. UP does it, BNSF does it. They all do that. Yeah.
Or I should say BNSF.
Yeah.
Norfolk Southern, not CSX.
But you'll see NS and CSX interchanged if there's a customer that's connected to the CSX line but not the NS. So wherever you need to ship product, we can find a way to get it there.
For sure. I want to bring up Bryce Travis real quick. He is our general manager regional over the north here. I absolutely couldn't do anything without him, but he runs all of our crews for everything here in Napoleon. And a lot of you see him. He's a local guy here too, but a lot of you have talked with him. But from an operations standpoint, he's your guy, and he can answer any of those questions for you as well. Okay, come on. Just wait.
You know, we talked a little bit about the service and the investment that's been made. You know, that's the reliability that we're gonna have on this railroad once it gets completely repaired, which we see happening here shortly in the spring. So we're wrapping up another big project. We got more planned in the future. But that reliability is gonna help you grow your business. You know, when you can depend on that service, that's what we want to do. We want to deliver that exceptional service to you, and that's what Bryce does. So we're making the investment to get that accomplished, and that's going to be needed. You know, to handle a facility like this and grow our volumes, we've got to deliver on that. So
We've given you a couple of pieces of information. One is about Pioneer Lines. This is all of our lines, and it's really just an introduction to let you all know who you would be potentially going into business with. And I'm going to have our CEO come up and wrap this up for us. But the questionnaire part, you know, you're all going to be asking me, what is my cost to do this? What's it going to cost me to do this freight, right? So we're building this facility. You get to utilize it, but in order for us to justify how we can do that, I need to know what these shipments look like, right? Our money is made on the freight side. So in order for me to give you that kind of a quote, I need to have these kinds of things answered. And like Matt said, we're going to keep that confidential. You know, this is your business. It's not out for public display, but we do just need some of those details in order to get you that quote.
Once you get to the point where you're ready to make a commitment, what's the timeline of the build time?
Well, we'll probably be able to break ground pretty quick. You know, we're looking at trying to get this, have some tracks in place before the end of the year. You know, so depending on what you're trying to do and, you know, what you need, we might be able to start shipping relatively fast. Now the facility might have another phase that we're building out a shed or, you know, lay down area, whatever, that might be taking place at the same time. But I would say by the fall, we should have some tracks in place.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just one other quick question. So you mentioned, you know, you've got the land, rail, highways, you've got some of the key infrastructure to help do what you need to do. I know you're working with Tim. You need that anchor commodity or customer, obviously, to move forward. Are there any other obstacles? I mean, this is very important, I think, needs to go forward. Are there any other obstacles that you're trying to get through and help you with? Or it's just getting that first customer?
It's really, yeah, just really getting that first customer, you know, making sure that the community needs this. I mean, from our research, we feel it does. And obviously, a lot of people here today to look at this. But there's really no other obstacles in way of this happening. You know, these are pretty basic build outs. They're all over the country. We've done them. We all have history of running transload facilities. And so it's pretty straightforward. You know, we have some utilities that we're going to need to get out there, but Tim can help us with that. You know, but it's finding the need, making sure the revenue's there, and making sure this pencils out and we can go forward with the investment. That's the biggest thing.
You know, Matt talks about that one anchor customer, but I really want all of you to come. So if you just all come, I mean, I don't want just one of you. But no, in all honesty, I mean, if you think about it from your own business perspective, having an option of truck and rail really diversifies out your business. You can weigh your costs out, and you know, Matt talked about it earlier about rail being the cheapest option. It's also the most efficient right now. You can move a lot more of your commodity in a rail car than you can in trucks. And if you're looking about a carbon footprint, we just learned about this too, like, you know, the emissions standpoint. I mean, rail is a lot more efficient, you know, than trucks. So it's just a good business option for everyone. So with that, Alex, would you like to come up and say a few words? We brought our CEO in from Denver, so you know that we're committed.
Well, thank you all for coming, first and foremost. And Tim, very much appreciate, where are you? Tim, very much appreciate you putting all this together for us. We very much appreciate that. I think what you're hearing from all of my colleagues here is we're very interested in investing in your community. We're very interested in being part of the community, in helping the community grow, providing transportation options, putting our infrastructure, making our infrastructure relevant to the community. We acquired the company almost 3 years ago now. I know that there were a lot of problems with the infrastructure before. We bear, being where we are, we have the responsibility for it, and we bear the responsibility for where the infrastructure was in the past. I think that you've seen a tremendous amount of investment already, millions of dollars that has been invested over the last couple of years. My guess is that by the end of this year, we're going to be approaching better part of $15 million in improving the infrastructure. That's a lot of dough. We would not have been able to do it without the partnerships that we've been able to create with RTP, with the Ohio Rail Development Commission, with the state, with federal government that was part of a grant program that helped us, that we matched, that helped us invest and bring the infrastructure back to a state that is relevant, a state that we can operate the infrastructure efficiently, we can make it relevant to you, make it relevant to your community. What we're offering here is a way to jumpstart, a way to incubate our services to you. This is one way that we do it. The other way that we do it is by just simply working with RGP, with the state, Jobs Ohio, all of these other groups, with Tim, of course, to bring industry directly to the community to make investment here. Sometimes that's a process of incubating getting folks on the railroad, shipping in a small quantity, or introducing our mode of transportation into your logistics supply chain. Sometimes it's a new industry that's looking to relocate. We just work closely with RGP to bring to Sender Curly, a fertilizer company, a company that makes agricultural products. They're going to be starting up here in the next year or so. There's a lot to all this. There's a lot that goes into it, but there's a lot of benefit that everybody gets out of it. Every dollar that gets invested, as all the economic development folks here know, every dollar that gets invested is another $3 into the community. Every job that gets invested that gets created is another 3 jobs in the community. This area here is in the crossroads for us. We see tremendous connectivity in the industries that are here, across the country, global markets even. We see the opportunity for this community to grow, for the industry here to grow. We know that industry creates resources. We know that residential developments consume a lot of resources, so it's really important to have the balance. And we're here to make the investment. We've already proven that. We're here to do it more. We're here to connect you to the national rail network, to markets all across the country. So let us know how we can be helpful to you. Let us know how we can be part of your community. I'm always impressed by the expertise that our team has. A lot of knowledge, a lot of capability. Jody, I wish I could clone Jody. I don't know how many Jodys we could have, but we could definitely do with a lot more of Jody. And she does a fantastic job of bringing solutions, bringing connections, working through logistics issues, finding all of the solutions that we need. So thank you all for joining us today. Very much appreciate the invitation, the hospitality. Fill out your questionnaire. If there's things that we can help, or just talk to us directly. We'll work with you directly, obviously confidentially, to the extent that the things that you want to talk with us about, your plans, how you want to grow. We'll figure it out. I know with Tim's help, I know with the RGP's help, I know with the more that you want to do, we'll find ways to help you. So thank you all.
Absolutely. So yeah, like Alex said, we want to build this site for you. So you have to tell us what it is that you need, from the covered storage to the truck scale to whatever it is. We just need to know that from you so that we can design this thing like you need us to. So with that, any more questions? We're going to be here to talk if you want to have a sidebar.
Rail cars are you expecting to store at one time right now?
To store over here?
You mean how many will fit in the facility? Well, right now we have plans for probably about 3,000 feet of track. But again, the information that we collect here today will help drive our decision to build more track feet. So if we say,
I would also tell you that this is a 50-mile railroad, so you're not going to be unloading more than a few cars at a time if this facility doesn't hold enough of the rail cars that you're receiving. There are other places on the railroad that we can hold them until you're ready to access them. So there's a lot of capacity on the railroad for us to utilize. And I think the cadence, the rhythm that you're going to be receiving rail cars, it'll be important for your cars to not be sitting for a long time unless you're using them for storage. But the main objective for everybody's assets is to continue moving. So we'll help make you efficient that way. We'll help move these cars, get these. A lot of this transloading part is to get these rail cars unloaded, get the product off of the cars so that they can those cars your product can be here available to you. But if you want to use the car for storage, there'll be room at the site, there's room on the railroad to hold it until you need it.
Yeah, we want to make this easy. You know, if you've never shipped by rail, we have a question in here. Sometimes that can be a daunting task, you know, converting from truck to rail, and you know, it can be complicated. We want to make this changeover very, very simple. That's why I'm here. That's why Jody's here. That's why we want to make sure that we have that relationship when we start working with you to walk through all of those things. So that's an important question. We want to know that from you if you're shipping by rail or not. You know, all the questions, we have some spots in here that you can write stuff in. If you have a specific product that requires something, let us know so we can do our due diligence on that and make sure we design this the right way. But as Jody said and Alex said, we appreciate your time this morning. We want to be here if we're around. We have nothing else to do but to work on this project today. So let us know what you need.
No pressure.
We'll talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all again for coming today. I want to thank Pioneer Lines for helping us get this going and the conversation started. I've been very happy with everything that we've done together and working together with what's going forward. The only thing that I've reached a point where they actually told me no, I wanted passenger rail out there and they wouldn't let me do it. So, but other than that, they've been very good to work with, and it's exciting to hear what we have going forward. I got a few accolades today, and I appreciate that, but it's because of my board that we do that, and I've got 4 board members here: George, Jim, Bud, and Jeff, and our former board president, John Kobe. Thank you for joining us. So it's a great board. If you want to know more about that, please let us know. Thank you for coming. If you want to talk to these guys, please feel free. We have plenty more food to eat. Please don't run off without making sure you're full, and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you.